Good morning, everyone. Well, we've been seeing some fog in parts of Iowa early this morning, particularly in the eastern part of the state, but I do think by 9 a.m. this morning it's going to be completely gone and still dry across the state. Now, the earliest I think we could start to see a few stray showers start to push into the western part of the state is going to be about lunchtime, right at noon. Not much. The chance still low, but I do have to mention it for the western part of the state. And let's track this area of isolated showers. And yes, I think a couple storms are going to pop up as well. I'm not worried about any severe storms. I do think this area is going to transition into the central part of the state around the mid-afternoon. That's when we'll start to see the activity for places like Mason City, Waterloo. And notice the chance getting a little bit better in the western part of the state as well. So an increasing rain chance as we go through the day. I do think the rain chance doesn't begin for the eastern part of the state for places like Iowa City, Davenport until the late afternoon. And notice the rain chance getting a little bit higher still in the western part of the state. It's really during the late afternoon where we can call it some scattered showers and storms for the western part of the state. In general, I think the better rain chance throughout the day is in western Iowa versus eastern Iowa. And I do think the peak of the activity is late afternoon, early evening hours. Let's talk about temperatures. Not much of a difference in the eastern part of the state from yesterday, but man, a big difference across the western part. Say this is much better than where we were. How about temperatures in the low 80s, maybe upper 70s? Not bad, and not much wind anywhere in the state today. So here we are still in the early evening hours, 9 o'clock. Now notice some activity in the eastern part of the state. It's a little better chance over to the west. That's where that scattered activity will still be in just isolated showers and maybe a weak storm in and around the Quad Cities. Again, after we get past the early evening hours, though, the later you're going to be out tonight, the less likely it is that you're going to encounter rain. I do want to stress that if you have Saturday evening plans, I would not cancel them because there's going to be gaps in the activity, so you could get lucky and miss out. But do need to mention the chance, especially during the early evening hours. But check out midnight. Very little going on. So in general, the activity peaking during the late afternoon, early evening hours, and then decreasing. So if you're going to be out late tonight, very, very small chance that you're going to encounter rain. So let's jump ahead into the early morning hours tomorrow and notice the rain chance coming to an end in the western half of the state. I will mention during the early morning hours, especially across the southeastern part of the state, it looks like a few stray showers, but the chance is low. And I do think just during the early morning, right now it's looking like the late morning hours are going to be completely dry across the state. But the rain chance not quite done yet. It is very small, but I do think we're going to see a few showers and storms pop up in the afternoon tomorrow, only in the eastern half of the state. In the western half of the state, I do think we're going to be staying dry. We see that activity in the far north central part of the state, so central and eastern Iowa, I do have to keep a chance in there for a few showers and storms, but not much. Beginning, I think we'll see a little bit of redevelopment about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The peak of the activity, and again, it's not going to be much, will be in the late afternoon Sunday, but look how many are going to be dry. So chance really low tomorrow, even smaller than what we're seeing today. Tomorrow's going to be another day where there's not going to be much wind across the state, and notice that the temperature difference is starting to increase again, staying in the low to mid 80s in the eastern part of the state, but mid to upper 80s in the western part of the state. So a peak activity late afternoon, but I'll tell you what, I think the chance is gone by 8 o'clock in the evening. So perhaps going to dinner Sunday evening, looking good for you.